Wars, we know, have always been a numbers game. They're driven by quantity, fought by calculating generals, and often determined by logistical might. Numbers also tell us about the repercussions of war, the impact on economies, businesses, human lives. So if we assess the Ukraine war in numbers, what does it look like? Here's a report.
Let's begin with the basics. Civilian casualties. The exact numbers aren't clear. The UN says 249 civilians have died in Ukraine. 553 have been injured. Very different from Ukraine's figures. It claims over 2,000 civilian casualties. It's hard to verify either version. Next, we have military casualties. Again, the figure varies depending on who you ask. Ukraine says over 9,000 Russian troops have been killed. Russia says it has lost only 498 troops. It also says over 2,800 Ukrainian soldiers have died, and more than 3,700 have been wounded. Ukraine, meanwhile, has not released casualty figures for its armed forces, but it has put out a lot of data on the losses on Russia's side. It says that since the war began, Russia has lost a total of 2 boats, 3 unmanned aerial vehicles, 18 anti-aircraft weapons, 33 planes, 50 multiple rocket launchers, 60 fuel tanks, 105 artillery pieces, 251 tanks, 404 cars, and 939 armed personnel carriers. What about losses on the Ukrainian side? Kiev is silent on this. Russia is not. It claims to have hit 1,812 Ukrainian military facilities, 65 command posts, 56 missile systems, 59 radar stations, 62 aircraft, 635 tanks, 67 multiple rocket launchers, 252 field artillery and mounts, 442 units of special military vehicles, and 54 unmanned aerial vehicles. Next, we have refugees. The United Nations says that more than 1 million people have fled Ukraine. That's almost 2% of the entire population. Where have they gone? Poland, Hungary, Moldova, Slovakia, Romania, Russia, and Belarus. What about Indian nationals? At least 20,000 of them were in Ukraine when war broke out. New Delhi says 18,000 of them have left Ukraine. Many are camping in neighboring countries. 10,500 have reached India. India is sending 80 evacuation flights under Operation Ganga. 30 flights have successfully completed their operations. What's being done to stop this war? 2 ceasefire talks have taken place as the West continues pouring weapons into Ukraine. The US, Canada, and the EU have sent weapons worth millions of dollars. The West is also slapping sanctions on Russia. On Friday, the ruble touched a record low of 113 against the dollar, a 30% drop in value since the start of this year. Russian billionaires have lost $80 billion in the last 1 week. Russia has also been denied access to foreign reserves worth $630 billion. As the war enters its 9th day and tensions refuse to die down, these numbers are only expected to rise. Bureau Report, WION The World is One.
You can see it.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.